Hey guys, it's Chris again. You may know me as the real C-Mac from ECF, Vapour, Twitter, wherever. We're going to do another hardware video today. We're going to look at something from urbanvapor.com. We have a scratched out phone number on there and an email address, nothing on the back. Not the nicest business card I've ever seen, but there we go, urbanvapor.com. I was sent this device by Toronto Mike on ECF on behalf of Urban Vapour. Not necessarily to review, just to try it out, but I'm going to review it anyways since that's what I do. It is the... No, let me take it off the device first, and we'll get a good shot of it. The Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer. I just looked on the website. They are calling it a T2. So, T2 Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer. Let's go down. We'll take a close-up look at it, and then we'll come back up and see how it vapes. Alrighty, so here we have the T2 Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer from Urban Vapour. Okay, as you can see, it's a top coil clearomizer, sort of like the Stardust, but there is no taper to the tube. Just a cylindrical tube there. Holds about 2.4 mils. It is marked as such on there. Now you look in the bottom. This is an ego connection only. There's no 510 connection in there. Okay, you can see that. It's just got the ego connection around the rim there. So if you don't have anything with a native ego connection or an ego battery, you're going to want to pick up an adapter, just like that guy right there. That's a 510 to ego adapter, or whatever device you have to ego adapter. So let's take a look at inside, because that's where all the magic happens. Top cap here, we'll remove that. That's your mouthpiece. It is a hard plastic, but it is not a whistle tip. It's a nice round tip, quite comfortable on the lips actually. I like the tip on that. Let's remove that. Put that to the side. I don't want to put it on my paper or I'll get leaky. So this part is the coil head, the top of it anyways. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. That does come out, obviously, so you can replace it with a different coil, or just for easy cleaning, what have you. Then we just have the part where it connects in there. The bottom of this does not come off, so you can only take the top off to get the coil out. Can't take the whole thing out. So put that down there for now. Take it out of frame. Alright, so there's one of the coil heads. As you can see, it has 4 wicks. Okay, they're about 1 inch long, and they go directly through there. The coil's in the middle. I'll probably get a close-up of that. This silicone part does come off. Let's remove that. Okay, silicone's off. That little guy right there, I don't even know what to call it, that comes off as well. And let's see if I can orient that correctly. Might need some manual focus on that one. Alright, and there you can see your coil. This, I believe, is the 2.2 ohm head. Okay. You want to be careful. I have washed this, not this one particularly, but one of them. And which way does this go? Huh. I can't remember which way this goes in. No, it goes like this. Okay. I've cleaned a couple of these now, and I was a little vigorous at just grabbing some paper towel and just kind of mushing it on there and moving it around, just trying to get some of that, some of the liquid, the water out of the out of the wicks, and I snapped a few of these wicks off. You know, they're just sitting in there against that metal. So if you're not, you know, if you're going to dry them, just pat them dry. Don't, you know, do what I say, not what I do, kind of thing. Because they are fairly fragile, and they will come off if you're too rough with them. Something else I want to mention about these: you do get 5 in a pack. The resistances are 1.5, 1.8, 2.2, 2.5, and 2.8. So you get quite a wide range of resistances with this. One of the problems I have is that the ohms are not written anywhere on here. You know, I've seen some other changeable coil head systems, and the ohms are written on there. Howbeit, or it's fairly faint, but I've looked pretty much everywhere on here, and I don't see an ohm rating on these. So when you get them, they come marked. That looks backwards, of course. Okay, so 1.8 ohm is written on that one. You're going to want to keep track of which one is which, especially if you don't have a device that can read ohms, you know, such as you know, a Young June lava tube, or a VMAX, or a ProVary, you know, or you don't have a meter. What I've been doing is I just take an old Bogue condom I have sitting around, and I'll just write what resistance I have. You can barely see that because I used a crappy pen, but use a little marker, write what resistance is what, and then just, you know, just kind of sit it in there. Stays in there pretty decent, doesn't really fall out. So, little tip there. Alright, so that's the coil head, the body. Let's put this back together. Another thing I want to say when putting this back together, if you just go like this, your wicks are going to stick up, and it's really hard to get them back in. So what I've been doing is I'll kind of just squeeze them against the body like that, and then I will kind of get it in as far as I can without letting them go. That was kind of a fail. I got a little spider shape there. Just give it a little twist when you do that, and you'll usually get them in there. Make sure you screw this in pretty tight. I've had some gurgling, and I was wondering what was going on. I noticed that the coil head was quite loose, so there was liquid getting in between the connection there. Alright, and then you put your drip tip back on. It's proprietary drip tip, you can't use your own. Something I want to point out about this drip tip, I might have to get in really close here. Camera, come on, camera. Let's zoom this up here. Alright. Now this is not all one solid piece. There is a seam on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see it in the light. Actually, we just passed it. You see where all that moisture is? There's a seam right here, and unfortunately it is kind of tough to see it in this lighting. There, you can kind of see it. Actually, what you can really see is there's a crack, and so there's a seam here where these two come together, and it has cracked on me, and I keep, you know, I can stick my fingernail in between it. I keep getting condensation coming up through there, so anytime I put this in my pocket after I'm done vaping, you know, I go to take it out later, and there's condensation all over the place. No, I didn't have it that close before. Jeez. Alright, there you go. So you can see that crack right there that's starting. I imagine that's only going to get worse. And I never dropped this. I assume this is from torquing it tightly closed, because when you do put this on, there's an O-ring there, but if you don't kind of twist it down, there's a big gap right there. So I've been kind of just really giving her a crank, which you should never do with any of your PV stuff, but you know, I don't want liquid coming out of the seal, so that might have led to that crack there. If this was all one piece, just molded one piece, you wouldn't have that problem. So I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's get some more focus here. I'll show you how to fill this guy. I'm going to take some key lime. And easiest way to fill this sucker, let me get in focus here. I just tip it like so. Am I in focus? Nope. I'm going to kill this camera. I will murder it. Gets stuck every once in a while. Alright. Give me some focus, camera. Alright. Anyways. So, I give her a tip. This is sitting straight up because we're looking down. I'm going to tip it like this. And I'm going to take my bottle. And I'm just going to pour right against the coil head. And if you get it going enough, it'll just create a little stream. Okay, easy to fill, no problems there. Let's put our tip back on, and I am going to close it tightly because I don't want it leaking out of that gap. And we have our liquid in there. Now I usually fill this right up to the top. You know, that liquid saturating those wicks is a good thing. You want that to happen. I didn't fill it all the way up for this, but normally I do. You know, besides through that crack in the drip tip, I haven't had any leaking out of this. I did have some gurgling, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So that's the Coil-5. Everything I could think of showing you in the close-up. So let's go out and see how it vapes.
Okay, so that was the close-up of the Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer from urbanvapor.com. I have it right here on my Penguin Peppermint mod with an Ego adapter on there. Of course, I do have some Ego batteries, but I generally don't use them anymore, so I don't have any other things with a native Ego connection, so I do have to use that adapter. So let's talk about when I first filled this up. I first filled it up. The flavor was pretty good right off the bat. Wasn't great. The throat hit I found was really not there, not satisfying to me anyways. The vapor, it kicks out massive plumes of vapor right from the beginning. This is a 2.2 ohm coil head. I have it set at 4 volts right now. I find you can bump the voltage up pretty high and it still performs well. The throat hit increases, the flavor intensifies a bit. It does get a little warm. I don't really like a warm vape, so I keep it fairly low. You know, I keep it high enough that I get a good throat hit out of it and good flavor, but I'm not getting reckless throat hits, although I really do love throat hit. So I was glad once I put a tank or two through that the throat hit was really shining. So it does require some break-in. Once it's broken in, it's great. I'm getting really good flavor out of it. I started off with a 70-30 juice in there. Vape's awesome. No dry hits as long as you're tipping. You have to tip this pretty much constantly. I noticed on a different model of this, there's a little cup around the wicks, but it was short wicks. These are long wicks. But that cup would hold juice in there, so you wouldn't have to tip it as often, but you still have to tip it. So if you're going to tip it, you might as well tip it. So you got to tip it. Tip it good. So after a break-in period, it's performing really well. You know, I do get the occasional gurgling. I'm not sure if that's due to the tip cracking on me. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I've been using it for about a week. I've had to blow it out 2 or 3 times. Towards the end of the week, like today, I've had to blow it out 3 or 4 times. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I suspect it probably has something to do with the seal around the tip. The fact that it's my tip is broken. So it is what it is. Performing really well though, given that. I don't mind the occasional blowout. It's gurgling on me pretty good right now. So it takes about 2.4 mils of liquid, like I said. You do want to keep this probably above half full, just because it just makes tipping easier. In an ideal world, I would just keep it filled right up to the top at all times, so those wicks are just flooded with liquid. Seems to be when it works the best. Oh, I like it. It vapes good. I'm getting good flavor out of it now. I'm getting great throat hit out of it now. Let's talk about this tip. You did see in the video there's a crack, probably from me tightening it, but you know, there's just a gap there, and I don't like a gap there. So as I just finished shooting that close-up, I went to put my tip back on, and I did, and I noticed that it was sitting crooked. Okay, so then I went, well, what's going? Oh, right, yeah. The tip has completely come off now. You can see the metal that it was attached to is still sitting there in the threading. You know, once the tip cracked, it's not as tight as it was. It was probably glued on here. It is no longer glued on here. I can still get it off. I can still put some. Well, okay, I can't. Well, I could a minute ago. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Apparently I can't get it off now. Maybe if I put some pressure. All right. Yeah, if I compress that crack, I can get it to come off. So that's too bad. I'm not gonna blame the device for that. I probably over tightened it and cracked it. But the fact that there is a seam there, it's probably gonna crack. I mean, if you drop this, it'll probably crack eventually, which is too bad. I'd like to maybe have the option to buy some more tips for this, or maybe come with an extra tip. It does come with 5 heads. What do we got for heads here? We got 1.5, 1.8, 2.2, 2.5, 2.8. Okay. You know, it sounds like a great thing to have all those heads, but I mean, are you going to use all those heads? A variable voltage vapor might only use the 2.5 and the 2.8. You know, an ego battery vapor would probably want to stick to the 1.5 and the 1.8. Maybe an option to just pick a couple of them. Maybe bring that price down a bit. It is $15 a piece for these with the 5 heads. I think it might be nicer to just be able to, you know, have your pick of 2 different coil heads. Bring that price down a bit, or maybe, you know, a couple coil heads and an extra mouthpiece. I do like the mouthpiece. I like how it feels in the mouth. I don't like whistle tips, so this one is, you know, it's very comfortable. But, you know, I do have my concerns about it. It doesn't seem to be very tough on that seam. So that's the Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer from urbanvapor.com. Once you run some juice through there, I think it's a pretty good vape. You know, better than the Stardust version 1, which is the last one I've tried. You know, I can't compare this to a version 2, an official version 2 Stardust. But I like it. You know, I don't need all 5 coils. You know, if this was lowered a bit and you know, I only got a couple coils, I'd be happy with that. I'd probably buy some more. But I will continue to vape on this, and yeah, not much more to say about it. So, Coil-5 Ultimate Clearomizer, urbanvapor.com. If you're interested, go check it out. It's a pretty good vape. Thanks for watching again. Chris signing off, and I'll be back with more reviews soon.